You're listening to the Roofing Success Podcast, a show created to inspire roofing contractors to achieve optimal success in their roofing businesses. I'm the host, Jim Moline, the co-author of the book, Internet Marketing for Roofing Contractors, How to Triple Your Sales and Turn Your Roofing Website into an Online Lead Generation Machine. I'm also the co-founder of Roofer Marketers, the digital marketing agency for the roofing industry. On each episode, I'll be sitting down with industry leaders to talk about their processes, the lessons they've learned, and how to find success in roofing. Welcome to another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast. As always, if you find value in the content that we're creating, please share, please comment, please like, follow us wherever you are. Follow us on Instagram. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're on iTunes, subscribe. Leave us a comment, leave us a rating, review. And then if you find value in this content, if you find something specific that has helped improve your business, post that on social media with the hashtag roofing success. And we'd love to start sharing these on the podcast. So as we're going along here, if we share with the hashtag roofing success, and we'll share your story, maybe have you on sometime, right? So today, another exceptional contractor that we have on the show, exceptional business owner that we have on the show. I think you guys are really in for a treat today. Victor Lupis of Dynasty Building Solutions started in Tampa, but now I think you're going to take over the whole Florida market here soon. The way you're going at it, man.
Whole East Coast, man.
the whole East Coast. So don't stop at Florida. We're talking the whole thing. So, Victor, please introduce yourself. How did you get into roofing? Tell us a little bit about Dynasty Building Solutions.
Yeah, well, I got involved into the roof and restoration industry back in 2009 and end of 2009, early 2010. I was a young guy. I had been doing, working as a tradesman and doing sales for different types of companies, windows, siding, you name it. I was getting my hands into it. If it made money, I was getting my hands into it, which also led my type of personality that I was into some actually bad avenues of getting my hands into, which is part of my story. Back in 2010, 2011, high school dropout, got involved in some criminal activity. Didn't hurt or kill anybody or nothing like that. No children were involved, thank God. And I did some federal time over it. And it really showed me who I was. Showed me that I was not this image that I was putting on as this big money maker or the type of person that I thought I was leading my life to be. And what it showed me was I had value in my life and I was going to be somebody. And I made that choice and came out at 2013 and moved to Florida, Tampa, got back in the roofing industry and worked for a couple other companies in the area and built their companies like I normally did and when I first started. And, decided that I could treat the employees, my community, and the customers with a lot more service and integrity and the things that I valued the most. And I figured the only way to do that was to go in business for myself. So 2014, I formed Dynasty Building Solutions. Actually, I formed it as Dynasty Roofing Solutions. But I seen that there was more value in being a full restoration company. And for naming a entity for Florida law, you have to, if you're going to be a contractor, you have to utilize that name. So I put building in there and I set the goal to become a building contractor. I didn't have a license as a building contractor. In fact, I didn't even have a roofing license at the time. But I didn't operate business illegally or fraudulently. I was going to church and I met a gentleman that qualified my business and became an employee before I started operating business, Edwin Hurtez. And he was dissolving his commercial roofing license. And he had 32 years of experience in the commercial roofing industry. And that was my weak point. I had a lot of experience in actual shingles and, residential. So I showed him my business plan. I showed him my track record, including my bad criminal history, and he accepted it. And he said, "You know what? I see where you're going, and I believe in it." So he dissolved his commercial license and his business, and he was hired on in January. End of December 2014.
Okay.
January, we had the business qualified, and we started doing business. So technically, it was formed in 2014, but we really didn't start doing business until about 2015. So we started off with literally maybe 4 employees. I had 1 office personnel, and myself and Ed was, the qualifier and also a sales rep. So he was bringing in roofing deals. I was bringing in roofing deals, and that's how we got the ground started. Started with nothing, no loan, nobody to help me, from the bottom, man. Literally rags to riches. And when I mean riches, I don't mean materialistic. I mean riches, other things that we can't see. Because I measure my success not on my bank account or by the car I drive or the house I live in, but I measure my success on the people that are successful around me. And that's our record today. We have a very successful group today. Throughout since 2014, 2015, we've done nothing but double in size. And yes, I could say gross receipts, of course, but also what mattered to us was the growth and the development of our employees and individuals. Okay. Today, we have 4 offices. I have 1 in Orlando. My headquarters is in Tampa. I have 1 in Holiday and 1 in Sarasota. Sarasota, the first year in the market, almost beat out my Tampa headquarters in personnel growth, and gross receipts. It was quite amazing. But that's because of course, the infrastructure, the progression, the growth of the individuals, the development that we pour into our employees and our community, because it's not only about, our clients and saving them money and providing a good service. We're trying to provide a good service. Not everything's perfect. Yep. But, trying to provide the top-notch service and being a niche in the market and a key player out here in the Florida area. We grew double the size each year, man. And we ended the years netting at a good percentage each year, but that didn't matter to us. What mattered was our individual growth, our personnel growth. And today we have 150 employees, man. Wow. All W-2 too. It's crazy. Awesome. It really is. We had a company conference last year. With COVID, we tried having it at the second quarter, end of the second quarter. So we had to hold it off till the fourth quarter, but it was an eye opener, brother. I walked into this company conference, and of course, we had the whole game plan of the event, and looking down at 150 blue shirts. Mine is white. That's the owner color. But blue shirts for my guys and gals. 150 of them. I didn't even know. I would say 40% of their names, but they all knew Dynasty, the vision, the core values, and what we do. And that's awesome. Because of the management team that we have, big accomplishments on the management team. We couldn't be where we're at if it wasn't for the success of the other people. And that's the main thing that I want everybody to kind of grasp, throughout this, talk with you, Jim. You'll hear me say it a lot. I don't take pride in my success. Am I successful? It depends on who you're asking, right? To my standards, I'm not even close to successful. And I'm not talking material and money, property, and prestige. I'm talking things that are not of this world. That's more measurable to me.
So let's explore that a little bit. So what does success look like to you, right? Because you went from the four employees or the group of 4 of you back in 2015 to the 150 now. And I definitely understand that feeling of, now that your impact is on every single one of those people, right? You're providing an income and a livelihood, an environment for them to grow and thrive in their lives and things like that. There's a lot of things that, we were talking about, we've talked about before about that, like that's where you're seeing the, kind of the growth in all of your people. What's that long-term vision look like for you? What is it? Have you really put pen to paper on that, or what?
I have. And not only have I, but my team has.
Yeah.
2015, 2016, I was still doubling in size and trying to figure out, what is my end? What is it? Money? What am I shooting for? Like, what am I going for? I know what my why is. Of course I know what my why is. My why is my family, my legacy, and giving to my kids that, stuff that I never had. But with that said, the things that I want to give to my kids are not material things that, same as what I never had. Some of it, yes, I would like my kids to go to a nice private school. Of course that takes money to pay for those things. But what I mean is, having a relationship with their parents, their father, and having somebody to guide and mentor them and bring them up in the world and develop them, their values in them. These are things that, a lot of us men or even women have faced throughout our lives. We didn't have the value of both parents raising in a household. That's what became important to me. So, the pen to the paper for the future wasn't a money goal. It wasn't like, oh, I need, $30 million, net, and I'm good. It was more about the success of, the name, the dynasty, like the whole creation, the legacy, the empire of the success for the community and for my employees, my managers, the people that are putting in their sweat equity. Okay. That is what was important and still is important to me and the team now. Did the team go ahead and, 2018 say, hey, we're going to be $1 billion corporation or $1 billion entity in 5 years? Absolutely. But, that $1 billion goal is still under the same dynasty of, not having those cliche type of universities that everybody hears and, tries to pay money out to. It's more along the lines of helping the community, helping us contractors, helping other people, helping, in whatever shape, way, or form we can. Okay. And that's our core values. So we built our core values, throughout the years. Our core value number one is integrity. A lot of people say, hey, I got integrity. Okay, great. What's integrity? Webster's dictionary. Webster's dictionary says, practicing a value or a spiritual value, when nobody's looking, right? Or something like that. So to me, that integrity that we say could be looked at cliche, but we say it because it means something to us, because our second core value is spiritual versus secular. Now, we don't say that, to work here or to do business with us, that, obviously you have to be a spiritual person. We're not saying that at all. What we're saying is that we believe in powers that are outside of ourselves. Even for me, my managers, my employees, my clients, my ideal clients that I want to do business with, we don't want people to be focused on the secular things, because the secular is of this world and it doesn't do the success for us that we set forth. So we practice that second core value because the part of integrity is doing something and practicing something even when nobody's looking. So how can I practice that if I'm not spiritual? Because, if I'm only believing on myself and I'm a secular type of company and I'm always out for a quick profit, a quick turn, which there's nothing wrong. We're a business. We make money. Okay. But we make it the right way. Okay. And when something does go wrong, we're there to fix it. We're there to first admit, hey, that was our messed up. I've had $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 mess ups, straight money out of the company's pocket to fix it. Okay. And never, knock on wood, been dragged in on a lawsuit, never had to file an insurance claim because I knew instead of giving excuses and saying, oh, it rained. I didn't know the rain was coming. Or, my guys, they were told to do it this way and they didn't do it that way. Okay. Or, the poor management of the materials, they dropped a pallet of shingles through your ceiling. That wasn't our fault. No. We take responsibility. Okay. Core value number 3 is open-mindedness. So as a team, as the owner of the company, the founder, I believe in staying open-minded to new employees, clients, ideas, suggestions, coachability. That's huge. I got to stay coachable. I'm not a know-it-all. Got to be humble, right? And that's why we practice the open-mindedness. Our 4th core value for me, this is a huge one, is perseverance. I persevered through a lot of hardships in my life. So, that's success to me. The success of, getting knocked down and facing problems and saying, I'm pick my head up and do this. I was a drug addicted, criminal, you name it, man. And my life was completely shot down, right? But I didn't let that be a victim mentality. I came out and I said, no, I am somebody, and I'm going to make something of it. And I persevered through. I didn't have a license. I had a record that's probably longer than, the hallway of my office. And I had struggles. And of course, people still bring up, hey, Vic, I seen this on the internet about you. Right. It's mentioned on my website too. And guess what? That's me being on the forefront saying, hey, this is who I am. This is who I was. Okay. And because of who I was brought me into the true being of who I am today. And I persevered through all this. So what better yet? We've all made mistakes. We've all messed up. Some of us have a record. Some of us don't. Some of us got away with it. Some of us did it. And I've never had a client or an employee tell me, hey, man, I'm not going to work with you. I don't believe in that. I'm not going to do business with you. I don't believe in that. I've always had people say, I see it. I see the person you are today. I'm going to give you a shot, Vic. And that's where we show up. So that's huge to us. And then core value number 5 is relationships. That the success in our relationships goes beyond, without a doubt, that is success. Okay. Because in everything we do, we're building relationships, with my vendors, with my employees, with my clients, with my family, with my spirituality, whatever it is, it's all about a relationship. So if I perceive that I'm living in a better way of life, a new way of life, and that's how I'm holding myself and who I am today, right? It's not my problem of a relationship. The relationships around me seem to get better. And that's what measures our success. We have well over 300 and some odd great reviews on Google, Facebook, Zoom, whatever. Man, we have so many great reviews. We have a 4.8 average. Why do we have a 4.8? Vic, why don't you have a 5-star? You know why? Because they're real testimonies. That's why. Okay. I can't have the best relationship with everybody, but we strive to have the best relationship with everybody. So if I couldn't make somebody happy, at the end of the day, they still got the product that they wanted, the service they wanted. Even if we messed up, we corrected it. Okay. And that might have still not have made them happy, which is fine. But they know that relationship and that bridge was never burned. So even when they want to call us for a warranty, or if they have a friend or a family member that knows somebody that's going to stand behind their work and knows somebody that's not scared to come to light and say, hey, I'm the first one to mess up and I'm going to tell you, they're going to call us. Okay. And that's what we measure our success from. And that's what we look for to be successful. Okay. And then, down the line, yeah. I mean, does it come with the better things in life? Yeah. I mean, are my bills paid for? Yes. Can I afford to put my son in a private school? Yes. Can I afford a nice truck? Yeah. Am I driving a Lamborghini or a Ferrari? Nah. Can I afford it? Nah. Never would, never will. Okay. Even if I won the lottery tomorrow. Okay, that's success. All right.
Yeah.
So these flashy universities that you're seeing, they're driving around in Lambos and they're a roofing company. Great, more power to them. But they're just doing that for your perception or anybody's perception to think that that's the level of success. Your success has to be measured off of your infrastructure, off of your personnel, not how big your bank account is, not how great your or how many clients you have. How many of those clients are repeat clients. These are all great things that I feel that, Jim, I'm kind of going off on the deep end, and I'm going to let you take back control.
Yeah, but success is not how big your car payment is.
Right. Exactly. Right.
Right. Like, right. And that's, there's so many ways to measure it. And I know that you've really put an effort and a focus into people. And that's what that success is. But you've also put a focus into your community, right? Like you do things. I think your company and you as a person, you guys do things in the community a little on top of that, right? That's part of your mission also, correct?
All the time, so it's not about, just saying these things, right? Because we could be a company, and a lot of companies do it, and they'll have the core values written on the wall, but they don't walk it. So for me, I got to walk it, continually, and I got to give back. And one of the ways we do that is, through just circumstances, who I choose to call. Not saying this is a requirement to do business with me or to work for a dynasty. But for my belief, I choose to call God. Will send us certain circumstances or certain opportunities to do that giving back. And we're part of plenty of nonprofits, ADA, American Diabetes Association, LLS, Lymphoma Leukemia Society. 2019, we did a big campaign, and I was campaigning because 2018 I was a sponsor, and then 2019 they asked me to campaign. I had no idea what campaigning meant. I just knew I had to bring in a bunch of money for LLS, right? I'm here with lawyers, doctors, and a doctor of the Cancer Moffitt Society. Like I didn't think at all, the money that we were going to bring in was actually going to bring in more than the other campaigners. But altogether, as a success, our campaign for that 12 weeks that we ran brought in somewhere around $480,000 for the research of LLS, right? So what had happened when I was approached, they grabbed my heart. They had a little girl and a little boy that are trying to get into remission and battling leukemia or blood cancer, and LLS. As a nonprofit, they take care of the families, they take care of prescriptions. So this was the reason I took on this and said, okay, I'm gonna run. And as a team, with my team from Dynasty, we were able to raise $40,000. And we're sitting at the big dinner, for rewards and announcements. And there was supposed to be a man and a woman of the year, the top campaigner with the most money. And they called my name. And I was like, had no idea. Wasn't prepared. Thank God for one of the reasons we were running for the campaign. The young boy was on stage. I didn't even have a speech prepared. I just picked him up. I said, "Go, Nathan!" And bless his heart, I actually still follow him on Facebook, and he went into remission last year. And, it was a beautiful thing, stuff like that is, just, and that's more for the public eye. There's hundreds of projects that we'll do underneath the carpet, that is just our way of giving back. We'll get Miss Betty Sue, oh my God, my roof's caving in, or, my kitchen just fell apart. And, we show up and we are of a service, and people see that and they commend that. And they say, hey, for you doing that, I know you don't need a thank you. I know you don't need any shape, form, or money, but just let me cook you dinner. Let me bring cupcakes to the office. I have homeowners that show up to our annual events because they're like a part of the family. We consider ourselves family oriented, right? Are we all family here? No, but we're family oriented because we eat spreads together. we take care of each other. We take care of the community. And when the community feels that, they come back to us and they stay part of our family. You know, I have homeowners that literally have paid for Dynasty Blue shirts just to have them. No lie. They're dead serious.
Awesome.
You know, and that's just part of what we do in giving back to the community. ADA is American Diabetes Association. We're a sponsor there. We donate a good portion of money, and it's part of my tithing that I believe. So this actually, you know, by that leadership, and not just by, you know, telling people about the core values, you know, I try to focus on walking them. And when I say walk, it's funny. I was just talking about my team on my management meeting this morning about this. My walk isn't perfect.
Who's is?
I trip, I stumble all the time.
Yeah.
But I practice my own core value and I persevere and I say, oh, I messed up there, guys. First one to admit it. How can I fix it? What can I do what's right? How do I take the next step forward? Okay. And that's what it's about.
Yep. That's the most important thing. And is understanding that there is no, you can't walk a perfect path, right? You're always going to have stumbles, but taking ownership of those things and then by you having that type of, being that type of a leader, then you develop those type of leaders also. Right. And that's, I know you guys do a great job in training, right? You have, I think you called it like a tiered management training program.
Correct.
How about let's get a little insight on that. How do you take that person, you know, that's a new hire with you and develop them, you know, through the years?
Yeah. Amen. That's what it's about. You know, it's about giving the other employees or any other individual an opportunity, right? You know, everybody always came to us and said, you know, when they want to get hired, hey, I just want something with an opportunity, you know, and that was always my want, you know, oh, just give me an opportunity, right? But then I figured out that it's not about them giving the opportunity, it's about how I create my opportunity, right? So I developed that within the organization. Number one, I decompartmentalized everything, every step of the way. So, you know, there's not one master for everything from A to Z. Now, for a lot of roofing companies, a lot of restoration companies, that might spin your heads off your shoulders because they're used to having a sales guy that does everything from A to Z, okay? I've decompartmentalized everything, right? From the lead to the call, to the administration, to the coordination, to somebody coming in and being a quality controller, to a project manager, to a production manager, for all streams of revenue. I don't just do roofing. We do water mitigation, we do commercial, residential. So that infrastructure is what we implemented in each department. So each decompartmentalization has its own department, right? So I have an office department, I have a production department, I have an estimating department, I have a management department, I have, you know, an administration department, I have a customer service representative department, okay? And I have a project coordination department, okay? Each department has anywhere from 5 to 20 or 30 individuals in each department. Oh, and I forgot the most important part, the sales department. See what I'm saying? So it first started as this multi-tiered management leadership training program that I developed in sales. And I did this with other companies before I designed my own company. And I already had it all written out and the way the tiered program worked and how people would get trained into becoming a manager, you know, a leader, a developer, you know, because in sales, if you can't duplicate or replicate yourself, then you're just going to be a good sales guy, which nothing wrong with it. Okay. We have people that work for us in any department and they're just good. And that's only their ambition. They just want to be really good at what they do. Fine. That's fine because the departments work for individuals like that. But then we have the individuals that want opportunity, that want the ambition, that have the drive, right? But they just never been given the chance or the structure to say, hey, this is how you achieve your opportunity, not the opportunity we're giving to you. You want opportunity? The world's here for the taking. It's yours. Let's see you do it. Here's the manual. Here's the course. Here's the training. Here's the leader that's going to develop you into becoming a leader. So then you could develop other leaders. And we're going to train that in every department, every person. And that is our multi-tiered training program for every part of the way. So if you call into my company, I have a manager of that department, just as a phone call. It's called a customer service representative. So that person is not an admin. They have a management tiered training program that off the people that they train and develop off an incentivized program on how many phone calls they can answer coming in off my Google, coming in off my Facebook, coming in off the streets, coming in off my referrals, right? And they can make a leader of that person to stay in the parameters of the procedures that we laid out, right? Then they move up that other person to a manager, then to a director, then to a VP. A VP then has a managing partner, okay? And then you have the founder, the owner, okay? Manager partner is owner structure. And this goes back to my success, right? So my success for everybody, all my employees, right? Since 2016, I developed a company, a construction company, guys, a construction company that has 401k matched, a healthcare program, United Healthcare, a good one, okay, that I match. I take care of 52% of that. Employee pays 50% of that. You know, so I have employees here that are, you know, on a really good healthcare system and getting some of the best healthcare out there, you know, and because we take care of them, right? So it doesn't stop there. So when you get into the management program, then we have a tiered system of bonuses for that department through incentivized programs, through the procedures, through spreadsheets, and goals that we give for that department's budgeting. Okay, so every department's got a budget. Everybody's got a goal, a number. So it's not like, hey, I want to be a $30 million company this year. Great. How are we going to get there? Well, I don't know. Figure it out. No, we have we need 1,800 leads. Out of those 1,800 leads, I need a 70% conversion rate. Out of that conversion rate, I need at least a 70% job booked rate. Okay. And then out of that job booked rate, I have to net at least 50%. See what I'm saying? So that decompartmentalization backed it all up through a metrics program. Okay. Now our metrics program we just recently developed. All right. It started with the vision of the decompartmentalization, all the other individuals, you know, the management tier program, and then it started getting bigger than itself. And I'm like, man, how am I going to measure these guys? Right? How am I going to know what their deliverables are, what their accountabilities are? Okay. So we developed roles and our managers developed ideal candidates, and they said, okay, you're gonna have these deliverables. These are your main goals because you work in my department, right? Here are your accountabilities, your daily activities, right? And we're gonna measure this. Okay. So as a company, we have our main deliverables, you know, number one, customer satisfaction. Number two, get money in the door, right? You know, be successful, right? And then three, we have, you know, more detailed goals going on down the line. I'm not going to bore everybody with that. So that's set up for the multi-tiered management training program. So we could take anybody. I don't care if they worked at McDonald's. I don't care if they have no experience. In fact, we like people with no experience because they're easier to develop. Yeah. I just need you to have a why. That's it. Just have some ambition, man. That's all I need. And then I developed that vision and we got it down on paper. We developed the structure, the incentivized program, the tiered management program, all the way up to managing partner. And we gave people ownership. Okay. Giving those people ownership, their sweat equity turns into capital. Okay. Because now their success is a part of the company that they're going to get to cash out on down the line. Okay. So as big as the company goes, as big as they go, and as big as they want. That's what it's about. So I didn't just go open up, Sarasota or Orlando or Holiday on my own. And I couldn't do that on my own. I would have been 6 feet under with all that stress. I mean, I barely could even keep my head afloat with the stress from my one headquarter. Okay. My team did that.
Yeah.
That's how that was done.
So let's go back a little bit. So, I mean, it's been, you've been developing this for 4 or 5 years now, right? So for someone for a company that just wants to start putting these things in place to run a business, right? To make it efficient, to create efficiencies, to create the team. One of the things that I heard from you is you have an organizational chart, right? That and then you have the people that are in those seats. We do that in our agency. We use the EOS model, the Entrepreneur Operating System, which is sounds similar to what you guys are doing. If that's a great one. A book that I'd recommend is called Traction. Right. So did you model this on EOS or
I didn't even read Traction until 2019 and had no idea that this was already a developed system out.
Yeah,
so that's thinking I'm unique, right? And then I get humbled.
So that's a lot of the things that we do as business owners. We'll just start off and just start doing things, right? But there's a lot of times there are resources that you can get out there. But so the EOS operating system is a good way to do that. But let's just talk about how you develop this, right? So you have your Tampa location. It's 2016, and you're looking around, and I'm sure that there was some organized chaos going on. And so what was kind of the first thought that you had, and how did it develop, right? Like, because a lot of times it's hard for people to reach, to see this. Wow, you've developed all this, but there was a starting point. So what was that starting point? What was step one?
That you recognized right in 2016. So in 2016, I was, still small enough to where I was wearing all the hats and running around, and I was spinning my wheels. And I was like, what am I doing here? What am I trying to gain? Okay. Because here I am, on the verge of capitalizing, but what is holding me back? So I started looking into, well, number one, I had my core principles, my core values, but the company had no vision, no principles. Everybody was just here. Woo, we're making money. Yeah, sales did this, like hoorah, but no vision. Right.
Yeah.
So I started, I went to write it. I wrote out what my vision was. I came up with some, a motto, creating better futures one nail at a time, and that's just part of the vision, right? And once when I seen the vision, right, I started saying, well, does this person that I have in that position, are they coachable? Are they in the same line of that vision? And are they willing to go along with that vision? Okay. And I started putting my feelers out through different strategies, just kind of dropping one-liners and seeing what they would do with it, giving them a little bit of ownership. And a lot of people would think of this as being a really bad thing, but it was one of the best things that happened to me. Come the end of 2016, 2017, I was on the verge of, 2016, we did 6 million gross receipts, right before Irma, right? And I had about, 10 sales guys, that were developed. I had a sales manager. I had, my other departments developed, but there was no policy and procedure, right? So when I got my vision down and I started seeing who could handle what, who could have the ownership, what is the parameters that I'm trying to give them the ownership in? So I started developing that, right? So come in 2016, 2017, September, throughout 2017, I'm starting to write, down my policy and procedure. And my first goal is to focus on sales, because sales is the front line, the representation of the company, right? And I noticed that, my best friend at the time didn't have the same vision. And I was like, okay, no worries. So I hired on another sales manager to help him out, right? And that vision wasn't being implemented still, even the policy and procedure. So 2017, one of the best things to happen to me again in business, Irma hits, boom, smacks us, right? The next day, I walk into my office and 90% of my business quits.
Wow.
Okay? Quits right out from underneath me. I look around, I say, no worries. We didn't need them anyways. So we got back to the core people, right?
Yep.
And now my vision, my policy and procedures started being built. Everything that I had in my head is finally down on paper, right? So the people that were holding back that vision were the people that weren't in the right place anyways, right? So now the floodgates opened up, right? 2017, you would think that I would have, doubled in size. We didn't, okay? We doubled in personnel. We did, because I had to hire on like crazy when these people left, and I'll leave names out and all that. But it was done in a very shady way. They had developed another business behind my back, and for 6 months we're feeding that other business. Okay, so their core values and vision wasn't in line with me from the get-go.
Not in line. That's right.
But it was the best thing to happen, because then I hired on the right people, because my vision was down. My process was starting to get down on paper. So then when I hired on a sales guy in the management training program, I was doing the hiring. I hired a sales manager. I said, hey, here's the blueprint. This is what I need you to implement. He implements it. And within, 3 months, here I am with a double the size sales team, right? So now I started focusing on the other departments and doing the same thing. Okay. So 2017, I end the year. You think after Irma, I would end the year with, $30 million. We didn't, because the infrastructure wasn't completely set yet.
Yep.
End of 2017, I ended it, I think like 7.8, somewhere around along the lines, right? 2018, we end that year 8.9, but doubled in personnel again. My net was like at a 5%. Horrible. I was freaking out. 2019, we say, hey, we got to get a net of 12%. We got to get a gross receipts of 18. What we say? We said 12 million. And now I got my infrastructure developed in each department. My production, they're charging ahead. I got the right manager. They're growing. Their quality controllers are on each job site. I bring on a fleet of trucks. Everybody's in a Dynasty truck. So I dumped so much capital, not just cash, but energy and equity in making sure that infrastructure for each department was lined out, name for name, line for line. So this way, when they were hired, even down to the person I wanted to hire, okay? Even down to that, I went that granular, okay? So because that taught me from 2017 that I got to have the people that are lined up with the vision, with my core values. And that's what we hire off of, guys. So this is what I started promoting. Come end of 2019, 2017, I started a sales manager that started from the bottom, and he took the vision and he exploited on it. Okay, now he is a director of the company. Okay, one of the first individuals to make it through the tier management program. He went from a manager to a director. And by the end of this year, he said he's going to be a VP, a vice president of this company. Okay. I have 2 other directors, but because of what he implemented, we ended the year 2020, back to this year with 21 million and some change in gross receipts with a net profit of 10%. Okay. Not my ideal area for a net profit, but we doubled in personnel. We doubled in size, we doubled in gross receipts. And then this year, we have a new goal, okay? And the goal isn't the gross receipts. Yeah, that's part of our motivation. That's part of where we're going, right? But the goal is the development of the people, the management training program, the infrastructure, the new offices, the people that are bearing fruit, the people in the right places. So to anybody that's new starting off, you got to take what you do best and you got to be able to replicate it and duplicate it out. Not just in here, not just in your head. You got to be able to have it out on an infrastructure. People think, oh man, let me just get into commercial. Let me just go sell, $1 million deals. That's great and fine and dandy. Go do it. But what happens when you have, a backlog of $10 million in gross receipts?
That's right.
On commercial sales? You're the only guy that sold it. You don't even have the crews to put it on. Well, I'll just sub it out. Well, then how are you going to manage those jobs? Without an infrastructure, you can't go anywhere. You gotta You gotta put the equity not into the bank account, but your focus equity into the infrastructure. Because if you don't have the right structure, you're building your house on sand and it's going to do nothing but fall over.
Yeah, and it comes in phases, right? Like you start off here and then you add this and then you add the next thing, and sometimes you're going to have to put more money into the company to get it to the next phase of the business. Some people may everyone wants to run a different business. Everyone has a different why. You don't have to continue to grow exponentially as a business owner. But when you put the right processes in place and the right people in the seats, as you're talking about, Victor, that's what'll make that business a business, right? And then, some people might want to stay around 5 million and then just dial in that net profit, right?
Exactly.
Just focus in on the net profit and how to get more efficient for net profit at about, a 5 million or to 10 million or 25 million, wherever your business is for you, but knowing your why and it is going to help you get there for sure. One of the things that I heard from you is essentially a couple of times there, you took one step forward and two steps back.
Yep.
Right. That's going to happen sometimes, right?
Yep.
It's not a smooth ride up, right?
No.
It's never a smooth ride up. There's always challenges along the way, but that's what the fun part is solving those challenges. To me, I don't know.
You said it the best, man. That's the fun part, and I like how you broke it down, for you don't need to just want to be as ambitious to scale your company to, $1 billion like my team. Okay. You could be as ambitious to scale your company to a $5 million gross receipt and focus on the why and the infrastructure and have the success of the freedom that you're at. Because when you're there, right, and you got it dialed in and you're focusing on that net, trust me, I can make more money net as a $5 million company than I could as a $30 million company. That I know because I know how to dial it in. What scaling's the hard part because you don't know how to dial it in. When you hit that new plateau, you're like, oh my God, what do I do? You gotta keep adding spokes to the wheel, and that I've seen tons of contractors that have their wheel very dialed in and they're very successful companies. And some of them are some of our great competitors, and we love it. We love it because it really teaches us how to come together. And I talk to some of these guys, that's the important factor I think we wanted to talk about too, is to build those relationships with your fellow contractors, with your GCs, with the other guys that have theirs dialed in a little bit. Going to these universities, yes, it could teach you a lot. I'm not going to speak bad about those either, but where you really get the equity value of learning something, because guys, if we think we know it all, trust me, you're the wrong one speaking, because the minute I say I know it all, I'm in trouble, brother. So, right. I can learn from anybody that is doing 600,000 in gross receipts or $1 billion in gross receipts. You see what I'm saying? So, have that friendly competitiveness inside of you to go grab coffee with these guys. Go to your not your Airbnbs, your BNIs. Okay, go to your BNIs. Get involved with the other contractors because we're the movement. Okay, in unification we can do anything. If you're insurance based, if you're retail based, coming together you guys can manipulate the market. You think GAF has the say on how much we pay? Everybody here knows GAF, all the main manufacturers, what's going on? It's COVID. Oh, there's no supply. Oh, we're jacking up our prices though, right? Well, think about it. If we have a group, a state of all contractors say, we don't care what your price is. We're not going to sell your product until you give it to the price that we want it at. Watch how quick. You think, just because that company has a $5 million, purchasing power, and I only have a $300,000 purchasing power, that you have no voice? No, guys, this is business. We all have a voice in unity.
Yeah.
So, get with your other contractors and just go grab coffee with them. Look them up, just like how who is your direct competition that you just want to, stifle at. Oh, they're doing that wrong. No, I've seen a lot of companies do a lot of things right and a lot better than I can. And kudos to the company and the guys that were working with me in 2017. Believe it or not, they do a lot of things right that I don't do. And I'm like, that's a pretty cool idea. What do I talk to them? No, I don't have to, but hey, clap on for them. That's a friendly competition.
Yeah, and it's an abundance mentality, and it may not, it could be in your local market, but it could be on a national level. Go to the shows, go to the events, sit down at a table with someone at an event and to have a conversation about business, learn from some of the, learn from each other and have that abundance mentality, because there's always room. Right. There's room for people with the mindset of abundance.
That's what it's about, brother.
Yeah.
A mindset.
Yeah.
Mindset. Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about a few more, like kind of a little bit more details. So, how do you guys position yourselves in the eyes of your customers? What is your unique selling proposition?
Everybody thinks they have this whole unique way of selling. What? It's not about being unique. It's more about just providing that relationship and that comfort of the service that we're going to provide, right? Why do I go buy materials from Home Depot when I could go to the handyman store down the street and get it for 3 times cheaper? Well, I go to Home Depot because I know there's value behind that product, right? I know Home Depot is going to be there when I have a problem. I know the customer service is going to be top notch. So if I have trouble finding something, right, or if I have trouble with the product I buy, Home Depot is going to be there and they're going to reimburse me and they're going to take care of me, right? So that's the service we try to provide. Are we the cheapest guy on the block? Absolutely not. In fact, in 95% of our bids, we're probably the most expensive bid. Mm-hmm. But what we separate ourselves from everybody else, retail, guys, I do retail. We sell retail. We don't just do insurance claims. Okay. How we win and we have a 65% conversion rate on our retail bids with the highest estimate. Okay. The reason why is not that we're just greedy and we're saying, oh, we need this amount for us to, do business with you. No, it's just what we take as a company because, we're a larger company. We're not 2 guys in a pickup truck with no overhead. Our overhead is a lot. So it gives that person that comfortability of them knowing that we're going to be there. We're going to provide the service. Now, are we 100% each time? Absolutely not. Okay. I will be the first to tell you. And I tell my homeowners that, listen, even if I can't win your business today, and all my sales guys say this, even if I can't win your business today, I want to be your trusted advisor. So I want you to go get 3 bids, okay, along with me, okay? And I want you to call me after you get those 3 other bids. And I want to sit here. And if one of those bids are going to give you a better service, a better product, and a cheaper price, I'm going to shake your hand and I'm going to tell you to go with them. You know why? Because I don't want to devalue myself and wind up having to, burn a corner, which is going to make you irritated. And then we're in a dispute at the end of this. And I didn't do a good service because I'm not getting paid the money that it's going to take for us to do the service. Okay. And I don't want to do business like that.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, if I'm going to be transparent, okay, I've even gone as far as, guys, I've literally told people I can't do business. I can't compete at that. And that company is better. I know they look at their track record. They've been around for 10 years. I'm not going to mention those companies' names, but I tell you, those homeowners went with them and they had a great experience.
Yeah.
But they called me back and they said, Hey, Dynasty, guess what? That was really commendable about what you did. And I'm glad I went with them, but, I felt bad. You guys stuck through, you even came by and stopped at the job site and shook everybody's hands. And I felt bad. So, my brother's looking for a roof. Maybe you could bid on that roof. I've won more deals that way than by actually, just lowering my price and coming in undervalued than what we need to do business with, and then doing something wrong for the homeowner and being in a dispute. Make sense?
Yeah. Being honest with people.
Right. Right.
Being honest with people, like, it's it's a different time. I think that, really nowadays people see through. People see through the salesmanship a lot of times. Not that you shouldn't have, your craft dialed in as a salesperson and asking for the close and things like that, but being honest with the homeowner, right? Like if being honest with the fact that, hey, that person's going to give you exactly what we can do, or better, or the price is better, or whatever it is. But that's also an understanding yourself as a company.
You hit the nail on the head there. It's about identifying the discovery of what that homeowner really needs.
Yeah.
Because guys, if the homeowner is just worried about money, that's not the type of individual candidate that we want to do business with. Okay. Because they're I hate to say it, they're going to beat us up regardless of how well we do a job. Their only primary focus is, I don't have the budget to pay for this, regardless of whoever's doing it. I need the cheapest. Okay. And they're going to devour us no matter how good of a job we do. So we don't want to do business with people like that. But then on the other hand, when we discover that somebody's true need is that they're just worried about, how clean the job site will be. Okay. Or how protected they are if somebody gets hurt.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we get granular with our clients. All of our guys are under our workers' comp. They're all a W-2 employee. Okay. Now, do we subcontract out some of the work? Yes, we do. And the homeowner is notified. Okay. But our subs are under a very strict, formal subcontractor contractor agreement, and they all have to prove their workers' comp, their license,
yep,
and their insurance. Okay. Because we're still liable. Okay. And we take that responsibility and we educate not only our clients, but everybody. Okay. We educate everybody. And then we let them make the best educated decision. Sorry, that word didn't want to come out. The best educated decision. Okay. And that's how we win a lot of our bids.
Yeah.
And that's all it comes down to. I have to get educated first to know what their true want is or what their true need is. And then if I can meet that criteria, I educate them on why I can meet it or why I can't. Okay. If I can't, I'll be the first to tell you. And does that happen every single time? No. It's business.
Yep. Nothing's perfect, right? But if the goal is to do this on every, everything, and the goal is now in the systemization of everything is to train your people in that same manner. What do you think, from a marketing standpoint, what do you think drives the most leads for you guys?
I would say direct marketing. So What I mean by direct is just, shoes on the pavement, man. Hit door knocking, cold calling, door knocking. That is the lead machine. Everybody, is into this digital door knocking. Yeah, great. Sure. I spend money there too. Yep. Facebook, pay-per-click, Google, we spend it all there. Does that bring in a sufficient amount of leads? Is it successful? Yes. That's not all my eggs in one basket. Okay. My eggs in my basket are through boots on the ground, guys. Being in that person's face. Well, Vic, how'd you do it through COVID? Heck, we educated them that we were essential business, and how we educated them was through brand awareness, through their Facebook, through their social media, through their direct mailers. Okay. Even when I say direct mailers, I also mean like actual print. Like I got as creative. I went and, ordered like 5,000 lime green flyers that I put the COVID regulations on, right? And I put our logo. I said, we are not affiliated with COVID, but we're just educating homeowners that we are an essential business and we are practicing all these guidelines. No contact inspections, okay? So this way, by the time my guy physically knocked on the door with a mask and gloves on during COVID, standing 10 feet away and says, hey, they're like, who are, oh yeah, we know you guys are good. Okay. So that direct person to person, cold calling face to face has been the most effective process that I've done this in, and it really is, and it goes with our our development. Okay, our salespeople are the ones that are growing the experience. Okay, they're developing other salespeople. Okay, and they're growing experience. They're becoming managers. Okay, so now when I have a manager in each department, I don't have to do anything but turn on the switch, turn on the doors, and put some chairs and some desks in an office and say, hey, here's a brand new market, guys. Go kill it.
Go it. Yep. Go get them. Yeah.
What lead machine? I'm sorry, I don't mean to talk bad about digital marketing. I love digital marketing.
No.
It works too. But what lead machine can do that for your business?
So that's direct sales, right? I talk about marketing in a, of course, that's what we do, right? So I talk about marketing all the time. There's short-term, mid-term, and long-term marketing, and all three play a part. If you need to sell a roof today, boots on the ground, man. There's no Facebook ad, there's no Google ad, there's no anything that can, because you can knock until you sign, right? Like it's a different thing. You can knock until you could just continue to knock.
Right.
Boots on the ground, continue to knock until someone signs that contract. It's a different type of process. I wouldn't even consider it. That's not even marketing, really. That's direct sales, right? That's direct sales. Like, we're going right here. We know, whether if you're in an insurance restoration market, hey, hail came through here, we're going there, right? Or for you guys down in Florida, winds hit this area harder than this area. We're boots on the ground over here. We know where the storm damage is. And then, but from a marketing perspective, now what you had said with the sending out the flyers and doing the digital and conveying that message to those people and trying to get in front of them, before that you knock on the door. You want them to have heard of you or know of you. And that's a mid and long term. Those are middle and long term marketing strategies, right? It's not the same, right? But when you knock on someone's door, you have to there's a longer education process there in convincing them to know you, like you, and trust you. So you have to be skilled at that. You're doing the same thing in your marketing, but then it's for when you show up at their door, you don't have to do as much explaining.
Exactly.
Right? Two different things. But companies that if you are a company in a retail market or a storm restoration market, knocking doors is one of the best ways to generate business for your company.
Exactly. And it's just proven throughout the world, guys. We are creatures by relationships. What is the biggest thing everybody complained about when COVID hit? Oh, I'm stuck at home. I can't see my family. I can't hug. I can't touch. I can't be 6 feet near anybody. How are we ever gonna develop as a community, as human beings? It's a part of us. This digitally thing, it's an add-on. You see what I'm saying? It helps, for the family members or community that I can't get in front of right there and then, right? To where they can still kind of feel a relationship with me, but they can't technically touch or feel, where we are creatures, we are human beings of that relationship build. So digitally, we can still build that persona and be in front of them brand wise, and we'll get deals from it. Don't get me wrong. We get deals all the time from it, but it's also because they see us physically in the neighborhood. They see us and they're like, oh man, I missed them again. When they knocked on my door, or I just seen that truck. So they're on digitally, and now they get that pay-per-click, or they get that Facebook ad, and they're like, hey, I just seen that guy walking down the street. Oh, let me check them out. Okay. Then we get some direct response digitally, and it works. They work hand in hand. You can't have one or the other in my eyes, my opinion, Now, have I heard of?
We refer to that as omnipresence, right? You want to be omnipresent in your market.
Yep.
You know, the trucks in the neighborhood, signs in the yard, mailers going out, people knocking doors, digital all over the place. You could have billboards, you could have TV ads, radio ads. All of this works together to build that brand awareness for your company, which pays off long term for sure.
Yep. That's where you got to have it dialed in
Yeah.
and not just be you have to have that budget. Like, hey, this is how much I'm gonna spend on each avenue of that to where I want to get to. And you have to not just say, okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of this, I'm gonna do a little bit of that, I'm gonna do a little bit of that. No, you got to have a focused goal for the percentage that you want to pay off, in each of those campaigns. We call them campaigns. Okay. Yep. So I have my digital campaign, and I have my direct campaign, and I have my billboard campaigns, I have my email campaigns, and we also have our membership campaigns. Like golfing tournaments, go-karting tournament. Baseball. We go and sponsor baseball teams and get our banner on the back of the billboard. Just a little Dynasty Building Solutions. Like things like that. You have to be involved in all of that, and you have to have that omnipresence, because when you finally do get that direct person or that direct ad and you're ready to buy, I'm right there. One way, shape, form, or another, I'm right there.
Yep. You never know when they're ready to buy. It's being there when they are ready.
Yep.
So what do you guys do? I mean, you guys do a great job of generating reviews. What kind of process do you have in place to make sure that you're getting that review from that customer, from that homeowner?
Man, that has been a bumpy ride.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as I said earlier, one of our, lost my train of thought. As a team, one of our main deliverables as a company is customer satisfaction. Of course, the service that we provide. Anybody can put on a great roof, but how do we provide that great service? So, in the beginning, I used a third-party company called Customer Lobby. And what they did was they took my completed jobs that we had to manually send over to them and say, hey, here are the manual, and they went and, captured the reviews, right? And then we hit a point that, I was literally paying one of my administrators to go ahead and spend, they would spend days on this. And I'm like, listen, I need you to really focus on, administration. I don't need you, so it became an unhealthy balance. So I was trying to figure out all these other creative ways. I checked out some other third-party companies, some of them, third-party companies that, I do not suggest this, and I've never done it, but they approach me where they get paid leads or paid reviews. Absolutely horrible. I'm sure you guys have heard of it before. Don't ever do that. Customers can see that. They smell it like wolves. They know when you're getting false reviews put on there. They're very cliche reviews. But I've heard of other companies do it. Don't do that. So, it's always been a balance. Okay. So where we really got good at it is, I had my old IT company do like a platform that allows, we just send out a link to the homeowner. And when we're done with the job at their happiest time, we don't wait till when we invoice them. We don't wait for when the sales guy leaves there. What we wait for is, when they're the happiest. And when is a homeowner the happiest? Well, the homeowner is the happiest when they first get done with the job, right? Because now in a homeowner's head, whether they still owe us money, whether the permit's still open, but when my customer is the most satisfied or not is when the job's done. So we made it a big deliverable of everybody in the company, whether it's my project manager on site, my quality controller, even my crews. I incentivize my crews. If you get a review, whoo, I incentivize them to get a customer satisfaction. Not hey, I don't pay them to go write a review, right? I pay them a incentivized program that if they get a homeowner that's satisfied and they go write a great review, I'm going to reward them, So this delivers our customer satisfaction. And then what really set it off for us, guys, we were getting in so many phone calls, and my lead acquisition rate was dropping dramatically, right? And I was like, oh man, I'm not capturing any of the leads coming in. My homeowners are saying that there's no communication. We have all these admins that are steadily working on the files. Why are they not answering the phones? And then it hit me. I'm like, well, they can't answer the phones, not because we don't have enough personnel, because they're so busy handling with the existing customers, right? And doing their part of the job, okay? So I'm like, well, I could hire a third-party company that could be a call company that can handle like doctor's offices. So I did that for after hours, okay? So this way I'm available 24/7. And then secondly, 2019, I was like, we need a call center. And I developed a call center that has and they're the customer service representatives, and they are the catch-all funnel for any phone call throughout the company. When my sales guys, when an own employee calls my office, they call over to the customer service representatives. And then the customer service representative says, yeah. I got Amanda in Sarasota. She's not on the phone right now. You need me to transfer you over to her? Same thing with my homeowners, my leads. So now my phones are getting answered at a 90% rate versus a 20% rate. So now I'm capturing all the money that I'm putting my leads into. Now, guys, you might not need to do this if you're not, as big as we are. When we were doing 6 million in gross receipts, that was fine, to have the admins answering the phones. But when we got over that 6 million, it became a disaster, and I couldn't get that balance. So now we've got it dialed in, and it's still being dialed in. Like, I just had a meeting for the past 2 months, actually, has been the main topic of my meeting agenda has been customer satisfaction. And all my managers, their only goal right now from last week is the managers, they themselves have to go get a good review from a customer, because how can they lead their team to get customer satisfaction if they're not doing it themselves, at least, once or twice a quarter? I get it. You're managers, you have other responsibilities, but you need to lead from ahead and make sure that they could get it done, because I do it. I still work on certain jobs, jobs that are, brought to me, VIP clients or whatever. I make sure I get a good customer satisfaction review, So I expect that from everybody. Okay. And it's about dialing it in and when to capture it, who's going to capture it, right? And then making sure that you have some type of process, a link, an easy pitch, when that person goes ahead and capture it, no matter who's doing it, whether it's you, the owner, or one of your admins, or one of your sales guys, or one of your production managers, whoever it is, just make sure that they have a detailed process. We call it policy and procedure, okay? And what to do, where to go, the parameters to work in, and how to capture it, okay? And when to. That's the most important part, guys.
Yeah, wow.
That was also a struggle. We didn't know when to, because we were calling homeowners, 3 months after they paid, the roof's been done for 3 months, and we're like, hey, do you mind go write a great review? Yeah, sure, right?
That's right. They forgot about you by then. They
Yeah.
moved on. Yeah. Moment of peak happiness.
Yes.
Moment of peak happiness, guys. That's where you got to ask for that review. So what are you guys doing? It's great to generate new business. It's great to knock on the door and get a new customer. It's great to get that lead from online or however it's coming in and get that new customer. What do you guys do special, maybe on production day or, in long-term follow-up that creates those raving fans and generates those referrals to your business?
Yeah. So we, again, our customer service representatives. So it used to be our sales guys that would see it, and circle back, through rainy days. They go through the database and say, hey, you remember me, we did a good job for you back in 2018. And, I see here that, you love the product, but, we didn't get any referrals. We called it referral farming.
Okay.
It's actually a great acronym for it. Remember, it's called rehash. Remember, everyone has another sale hidden. So again, off the relationship we develop, because it's not about that 30-second relationship to gain a quick profit, for success, right? Our relationship is our success. a lifelong eternity, however you might want to call it or look at it. We look at it as an eternity, that relationship that we build, and then circling back, no matter who it is, when it is. And we incentivize them sometimes too, like we have homeowners that like, hey, we put a sign in your front yard, give us some referrals, we'll pay you. Okay. Yeah. I'll give you a gift receipt, for a gift card for, $100 per referral, things like that. People love it. And then they also love, again, when they go and write that good review, that is the best person to get your referrals from. So for us, what we do now is the call center, our customer service representatives, they are incentivized through the referral farming program. And we have a policy and procedure, a pitch. They call through, our old production from, last week. And they say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Hedrick, how's it going? This is Sarah from Dynasty Building Solutions. I see we just finished your roof, and I know you wrote a great review, and we did a beautiful job. And but I don't see that where you've listed or given us at least 3 to 4 friends of a family member or a neighbor. And did you even know that we'll actually pay you and put money back in your pocket for each one of those individuals? No, homeowner's like, really? Yeah. And all we ask is for a phone number and a first and last name and an address, and you let them know before we call them that we're going to be calling. Okay. Now it's not going to cost them anything. It's not going to cost you anything. Just 30 seconds of your time. Would you mind taking 30 seconds of your time to do that for us? Absolutely. For $100, Vic? Sure. Who else do you know that can make $100 in 30 seconds? I can't.
So I like that. That's something unique because, a lot of times people will think of the CSRs or someone, hiring a customer service representative or having a person in the office that's in charge of answering the phone. But you've turned it around and made those people into outbound dialers also. And that outbound dial, right? Mm-hmm. And what you're doing is asking. Mm-hmm. And you never get what you don't ask for, right? So having a process in place to go back and ask those customers for referrals. That's awesome, man. Yep. What do you think the greatest insight is that you could share with our audience that's helped you find success in your roofing business?
Belief in my team. Letting my team guide me as an individual, believe in me, believing in them back. Like everybody always says that, wow, Vic, that's awesome. You did that. I believe in God and all glory goes to him, and that showed me to, be of a servant to my entire team. I'll come in here and the guy that does the office cleaning, I'll take the vacuum, take the trash out with him, and be of a servant to them and find out, what it is that drives them. Okay. And my team sees that vision. They make it their vision and they believe in themselves. It's not about them believing in me, because if they believe in me, I'm not the guy, guys. Don't believe in me. They believe in themselves. Okay. And then that sweat equity, that hardship that they're putting through, they develop a lot of this stuff. Like I say, going through this, oh yeah, we opened up a call center. I didn't do that. That was help throughout my team and certain individuals that said, hey, we need this. And I'm like, oh yeah, great idea. Let's put this here, do this, develop that way. And then they would include their thoughts and being that open-minded to hear them and say, you know what, let's try it. Even if it doesn't work. I don't know if it'll work, but let's try it. Letting them believe in that. Because without them, and without the glory to God, I look back and this is nothing I did. I'm just a blessed man that gets to be a servant of it. That's all.
Awesome, man. This has been another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast. If you would like to generate more sales through your digital marketing efforts, please visit roofermarketers.com and get a copy of the book, Internet Marketing for Roofing Contractors, How to Triple Your Sales and Turn Your Roofing Website into an Online Lead Generation Machine. Also, check the training section of the website for guides on everything from running effective pay-per-click ads to how to properly set up your Google My Business listing. This has been another episode of the Roofing Success Podcast. Thanks for listening.